Imagine moving into a new home, hoping for a fresh start, only to find out you're not alone. What if there were shadows lurking, whispering secrets you're too afraid to hear? Well, that's exactly what happened to a young couple named Sarah and Tom. But here's the real question. Would you stay if you heard voices calling your name in the dead of night? Sarah and Tom had just moved into their new house in a quiet, forgotten town. The house was charming but a bit too old, with creaky floors, cracked windows, and walls that seemed to have stories buried within them. To them, it was just a fixer-upper, a place to start their lives together. The first night was unsettling. As they unpacked, a faint, cold draft drifted down the hallway, though every window was closed. Sarah shrugged it off, blaming the old house, but Tom couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. That night, as they settled into bed, Sarah heard it. A faint whisper, soft, as if someone were speaking from behind the walls. "Sarah, Tom!" She froze, heart pounding, nudging Tom awake. Did you hear that?" she whispered. Tom listened, and at first there was silence. Then the faint whisper returned, and this time they both heard it. "Sarah, come find us." They lay there, staring into the darkness, clinging to each other, hoping the voice would stop. Eventually, silence returned, and though sleep didn't come easily, exhaustion eventually took over. The next day, they tried to brush it off. They told each other it was just the old house settling, or maybe they were just tired from the move. But as the days passed, the whispers grew louder. They seemed to be coming from everywhere, the attic, the basement, even the walls beside their bed. One night, Tom decided enough was enough. He grabbed a flashlight and told Sarah he was going to check the basement. The whispers seemed louder near the old wooden stairs, and as he descended, Sarah felt a chill creeping down her spine. Tom opened the basement door, and a wave of cold air washed over him. He aimed the flashlight around, illuminating dusty shelves and forgotten boxes. Then he saw it, a small old door at the back of the basement, almost hidden by cobwebs. With trembling hands, he reached for the door handle, glancing back at Sarah, who stood at the top of the stairs, her face pale. He opened the door, and a burst of icy air shot past him. Inside was a narrow, dark passageway that seemed to go deeper into the earth. And that's when the whispers turned into a faint cry. "Help! Us!" Tom's flashlight flickered, and his courage started to wane. But curiosity drove him forward. He took a few steps into the passageway, each step echoing louder than the last. Suddenly, the door slammed shut behind him. He shouted Sarah's name, but she couldn't hear him. The whispering became a cacophony, voices swirling around him, each one pleading, crying, demanding, and then silence. Complete, deafening silence. Sarah waited by the basement door, heart pounding, but Tom never returned. Days turned into weeks, and despite her frantic calls and searches, he was never found. The house was eventually abandoned, and no one dared to go near it again. But if you stand outside on a quiet night, some say you can still hear the whispers echoing through the walls. "Help! Us!"